Hey guys, King of Charms here, your judge, your jury, and analyst, and today I bring to you my best ABB team for Great League Remix. This team actually did really well, even though it lost the lead, but it's also a very high pressure, well, not very high pressure, but it's Pelipper, Steel X Switch, and then Lucario closes out, Water Double Steel. So what happens here is that Lucario is actually a pretty decent mon in this cup, because Shadow Ball is able to take out those Ghost Mons, does a huge amount of damage, and you can rev up with Power Punch. Problem, of course, is that Lucario is pretty dang squishy. But you'll see just how good Lucario can be in this Shoutcast. So this is Water Double Steel, Pelipper, Steelix, Safe Switch, and then you have Lucario to close out. But before we get started, it's going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. So, as usual, you could skip this by going forth into chapters. But today's tip is about stress. So how do I manage my stress? I watch anime. No, seriously, I watch anime. You know, there's a lot of anime is love, anime is life. I love anime, and what am I watching right now? I'm catching up to Bleach. I'm watching The Missing 8, which is actually this really good, it's not an anime, it's animated, but it's kind of like a picture anime. But it's made by this artist named Fuzi, and then the music's actually really freaking good, so it's on my playlist. But why are we talking about stress and getting rid of stress? How do you get rid of stress? Or here's 10 quick stress busters. So if you are very resilient, you can quickly go ahead and manage and overcome stress or be able to stress down. And these are 10 different ones. The reason I'm talking about this one is because the first one in this article is from Psych Central. As I always say, I love Psych Central because everything is medically reviewed by mental health professionals or specialists in their field or specialists. So, for the first one, it literally says simplify. Cut your to-do list in half. How? Ask yourself this question after every item. Will I die tomorrow if this doesn't get accomplished? I'm talking about everyone that's stressing about Legend. If you didn't make Legend last season, guess what? You aren't going to die. There are plenty of people I know that are better. Actually, a lot of people I know, a lot of really freaking good players have quit this game. They stopped playing PvP. And I have no doubt that if they were still playing, they would be they're absolute monsters, and that's why the competitive pool of Pokemon Go is going less and less, because it's the same people over and over again, and it's a very high barrier entry to game, and it does the exact opposite of what popular top 10 esports do. So, the reason I say that is because just because you don't make Legend in Pokemon Go, that doesn't mean a lot of your friends will view you any differently. If they do view you differently, then they aren't really good friends, because Legend, while as it is hard to make Legend, no, more people care about making Predator and Apex than more people do making Legend in Pokemon Go PvP. No, seriously. That's Apex Legend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Apex Legends, look up Predator, look how many people are posting about trying to make Pred and versus making Legend in Pokemon Go. I promise you they get way more interactions than we do. But that's just what it is. If you didn't make Legend, don't worry about it. Here are 10 quick stress busters to help you with stress and to help you with your mental health as well as your own self-esteem. And it's just... This list of 10 is actually really good. Even though this article is 11 years old, these 10 tips are still, to this day, very valuable. Without further ado, this is my top ABB team for the Great League Remix in Season 13, and let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. So of course, whenever you start the season, you find some ridiculous things. And this is actually a little odd, but a Flygon versus a Pelipper. So Flygon, I believe, actually wins this one by the sheer virtue of Dragon Tail is doing a crap ton of damage. Also, I never understood why Flygon was Flygon is was one of the Generation 3 Pokemon I liked a lot. In Ruby, I remember catching my Trapinch and then it evolved into Flygon, and I was like, oh my god, this thing's like the coolest thing ever. And in Pokemon Go PvP, it's somewhat good, I suppose. Depends. But as you see here, it's not that great. I tried to snipe my opponent down and catch a Dragon Claw at the same time, which actually happens to work. And I'm like, oh, yes, let's go. And then they switch into Abomasnow. Or Abomasnow. I know y'all love it when I say Obama. So if you didn't vote for Obama, so now you don't know. But as you see, Abomasnow is going to, well, even though Abomasnow technically beats our Steelix here, I don't know, they shielded the first Psychic Fangs, which had me scratch my head, and I'm like, why? You didn't ever shield the first one, you should shield the second one. But at this rate anyways, what's going to happen is that Abomasnow is going to be able to just Weather Ball us down anyways. Hopefully oh my god, I wish it balls so hard, I wish the Warriors were balling harder right now. Man, if you're a Warriors fan, it's kind of painful right now. Very painful. Now, my last attempt to snipe didn't work, but this time it did. So when I sniped it down with with Lucario and sniped down Abomasnow, all that's going to happen is we get a Snorlax. So I thought I was going to get something super meta in the back, and it happens to be a Snorlax with Zen Headbutt. And my brain is like, what? And yeah, that's game. But all of you were prone to see a whole bunch of ridiculous in the beginning of the season. So there you go. That's my share of ridiculousness. Next, we got Pelipper onto Electrode. This is terrible for us. And Electrode in Great League Remix. I was like, oh, and it's using Spark. And I'm like, why? Spark isn't bad, it's just Volt Switch. I like it better just because the potential for you to get Volt Switches through charge moves. And it just, 16 energy for a 4-turn fast move is pretty dang good. All we're going to do here is we're going to go straight Earthquake. I'm trying to debate my opponent. Unfortunately, they actually call it. So I was like really impressed. I was like, wow. They called the Earthquake. I was actually very impressed. I was like, and that's a Light Bar. And I'm like, are we all the way back in like what? The Willpower Cup or whatever not? Because like, yo, Charm. So they don't shield the second one. They know it's a Psychic Fang. I won't shield this one. It's probably going to be a return since that's a Purified Light Bar. And then I was correct. And that does a hell of a lot more damage than I thought. And next we get a Seadra in the back. Because we have a 2-to-1 shield advantage and 2 Pokemon left, this is pretty much game. So that's a Seadra. I thought it was a Kingdra for a sec when I was looking up. I was like, what, is that a Kingdra? And I'm like, no, it's a Seadra. And I'm like, but I was like trying to scratch my head. Now that we won alignment, we can now put Lucario against Electrode, and this is game. So all we're gonna do is punch down this poor Electrode and Hadouken the freaking Seadra in the back for the dub. So anyways, how's your guys' day going? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, this is always the beginning of the season, but like, I don't know why after like my first set, everything was mega sweaty. Usually it's after the second set, but in the beginning, it doesn't really matter anyways, because you literally just need one win to go up every rank from like rank, what, 1 to like 7 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, or it's like rank 1 through 5. As you see, we're just going to ball out. We're going to Shadow Ball. We're going to ball so hard, the Dark Cadeau is going to come here and we're going to steal our opponent's soul and take the dub and win a prize money, which actually doesn't work. It would be hilarious if you won Stardust in Pokemon Go for beating your opponent, just like in the main series games, how you take people's money. We got Pelipper on a Graveler. So remember I was talking about Volt Switch? Well, guess what? We got Graveler and we got Primeape, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. So now we got Meta, and this is actually pretty bad. The reason being is because I might be able to take both of their shields here. However, Primeape's attack is so high, if they boost once, then I'm probably going to get countered down. Night Slash goes off. Unfortunately, thankfully, they don't boost, but I'm going to be able to Psychic Fangs them down. We need to win alignment here because I don't want my Pelipper to go against that Alolan Graveler unless I can force the zeros, and then I can Weather Ball them for the dub. So we're going to shield this second Night Slash, and I'm going to fire off my Psychic Fangs. We grab the second shield, and I'm hoping I'll be able to Drag Tail down, and I do. They're likely going to send in Electrode, because what's going to happen here, I mean not Electrode, Graveler, because what's going to happen is they're going to Volt Switch down and have a ton of energy left. This is where it gets really dicey though, because like, I don't have a choice but to send in Lucario. Lucario double resists Rock because Steel resists Rock as well as Fighting. So because we got double resistance to Rock, Stone Edge goes off and it does only a third of damage. And then I get a Ferrothorn. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to sacrifice my poor Pelipper to the gods, because I need to catch a move and I don't want to lose Lucario, because we don't want a Stone Edge to hit our Pelipper because it's going to die. I send in Pelipper and they hit a Power Whip. I thought I would get a Thunder, which kind of sucks, but I'm actually not going to fire anything here. My goal is to counter down this Ferrothorn, and then I'm going to be able to Power Up Punch that Graveler in the back. So A-Grav, hopefully, because it's so squishy, I go for the Power Up Punch, and this should KO, and that's game. So a little scary, but this shows you just the standard what happens if you lose the lead. You lose the lead, you say switch in Pelipper, try to win back alignment. Maybe hopefully Lucario can take out whatever was in the lead, and your back row has a chance like you saw here. In this instance, I win the lead. I got Machamp. That is a very nice CP, by the way. 1469. That extremely impressive. And we get a Golbat. My brain is like, what? A Golbat for a Say Switch? I mean, it's not wrong, but it's like, Steelix Say Switch is pretty dang good. As you see, Steelix can eat 2 whole Shadow Balls from Golbat. Not only because it doesn't get stabbed, but it's pretty dang good. Our opponent starts to shield. Golbat's pretty squishy here, so I'm just going to straight Psychic Fangs. I will shield this second Shadow Ball, though, out of fear that I just want to make sure I keep alignment. because you don't want to lose. With Wing Attack being buffed by 1 damage, this is why Pelipper is the literally it's the best safe switch in Open Great League now. And it's the best safe switch outside of Steelix, as you see here. Steelix is going to get countered down, but I'm going to be able to get 1 more Psychic Fangs off. With this, I'm going to be able to send in Pelipper. Pelipper is going to be able to slap the Unholy Crap with Wing Attack and just do enough damage. I'm not going to give up alignment here because there's no point. I still have shield advantage, so if by happens I need to send in, if I need to shield something, I can. But my opponent kind of oops because they don't fire right away. And at -1, this Weather Ball will KO. We get an Incineroar. I'm going to fire a Weather Ball. Then I'm just going to go ahead and counter down with Lucario just to end the match. Yes, Fire Fang is super effective, but hey, you know what? Incineroar squishy, so it should only take 2 counters, and that's game. So, as you see, it's like this team's really solid. We get Whiscash onto Pelipper. You technically win this, well, you win this lead, but every Whiscash I faced wants to disrespect you with the Blizzard. The negative 69420 degree freaking attack is going to come for you, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to go straight Blizzard. You don't have, there's 2 options you have here. You can shield it, or you can choose not to shield this. In this instance, I will not shield it, because as you see here, Blizzard will only put you in the yellow. Actually, in the red. Barely in the red. You'll still live. And then our opponent gives up Switch. By giving up Switch, this allows me to line up Lucario against Dugong. If you noticed, I took a split second to just kind of like see what was on the top right. I'm trying to work on looking at the name. So instead of just looking at the type, so I'm looking at both the type and the name. So once I recognize the type and the name, then I'll swap in. Because if I swapped in our Steelix onto that Dugong, that would have been terrible. I'm going to Shadow Ball right away. My opponent's probably going to think I'm going to bait here. So I'm going to ball out, and I'm going to ball like Steph Curry. We're going to take out this freaking Whiscash. Daddy Cash going to go down, not take my money. And then we got a Marowak, and this is game. I still have 2 shields. And with 2 shields, you can kind of force your way through with Dragon Tail, even though Marowak has Bone Club. However, because I have all this energy for my Pelipper, I'm going to double Weather Ball here and hope that they take at least 1. If they take 1 Weather Ball, I can safely send in Steelix and chip away. This is one of the usual win conditions where you won't fire a move and just do fast damage down for the W. So I'm going to send in Steelix here. Even better, they fire their energy, so they Bow Club here. Bone Club won't do a ton of damage against Steelix. However, I'm just going to send in Steelix anyways and just Dragon Tail down. You're going to see me expend both of my shields out of fear that they Fire Blast me. Because if I get hit with if Steelix gets hit with a Fire Blast, I don't know if it lives the entire Fire Blast, but I want to find out. So, always make it a safer win condition. And of course, if you shield a move that goes through and your opponent has 1 HP left, or they're going to die to the Dragon Tail, they will go down, and then you will win the match, and that's GG's. So as you see, it's a pretty generic, pretty solid team. If you lose the lead, say switch out, and then you're going to go ahead and close out with Lucario, or hopefully Lucario can just power up punch and counter down whatever's in the back. Another kind of silly battle, but I believe this was the match that got me the 5-0. I had like 2 mega meta matches, and then the rest were like meme matches. So this is another. Crobat isn't a super meme matchup. It's actually pretty decent depending on what cup you're running with. The problem is Air Slash charges way too slow. And not only that, Poison Fang was nerfed. Barely nerfed, but yeah. Like, it's still really good. But as you see here, I should be able. I'm going to double shield here. I should have eaten the first Poison Fang. So eat the first one, and then you could shield the second one. In this place, I just shield both of them because it's a Crobat. So I'm kind of underestimating my opponent here. And I have enough energy to force a Hurricane. And that's a Jellicent. So I'm like, oh, this is actually terrible because Jellicent does really well against Lucario. Unless it eats a Hurricane, and then I can go ahead and Dragon Tail down with Steelix. I'm going to send in Steelix. If they don't have Bubble Beam, this is going to kind of suck for them because Ice Beam doesn't do a ton of damage. Shadow Ball will do a nice chunk, but Steelix is pretty bulky. And then we get an Obstagoon. And then this is pretty much game over. Because y'all already know what happens when Obstagoon is against a fighter, unless it's like another Obstagoon or something like that. You already know it's going to get deep, it's going to go down. I eat a Cross Chop, and I'm able to do, this is actually a super close matchup. I should have fired Psychic Fangs right away, but what I'm trying to do, but yeah, I should have actually fired it right away, so that I can go ahead and Dragon Tail down. But my only win condition now is to Psychic Fangs down that Jellicent in the back and pray that it lives 2 hexes, because I don't think it will die to 1 Psychic Fangs, and I was mad sweating in this battle. This was way closer than it actually looked. As you see here, with 1 HP to Dream, my Steelix being at 274, rank 274, actually came out clutch with a dub. And I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. As you see here, here's just a little thing, a blurb. I didn't catch the 5-0 like after, you know, like how I usually do it, so I just took a screenshot and here it is. So again, this is my best ABB team, and as you see, it's pretty solid even if you lose the lead, just because Steelix and Pelipper Core is very powerful. I'm surprisingly haven't seen any Stunfisk, which is kind of surprising because Stunfisk beats both Pelipper and Steelix. I guess people are just using Whiscash, but as you see, Whiscash doesn't guarantee you a dub, just because Blizzard takes so much energy, and you still have play against Whiscash versus Pelipper, especially because you resist those mud shots. So they always Blizzard through and switch, which is kind of odd. That, or you always see like that matchup. I already explained that anyways. But I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. I hope you enjoyed this sweet ABB team. If you do have these components, it could do very well for you. It's very generic. You lose the lead with Steelix, safe switch, and you lose the lead with Pelipper, safe switch into Steelix, and then Lucario can hopefully punch down, power punch, and Shadow Ball its way to victory for you, along with Pelipper in the back. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Also, something that's hilarious, I think it happened yesterday if you were trying to log in. Pokemon Go, our Niantic, actually broke the game. They broke the game to where no one could log in, and it's absolutely hilarious. I can only imagine how many people lost battles, or had to top left, or if it affected anyone's PvP battles, because they couldn't log into the game, or like something happened. So oh god, Niantic. They put the schedule up, which is honestly, I don't know why it took 13 seasons for them to put up that schedule. If you look below on your rank and you say see schedule, how come it took 13 seasons for you to do that? In all seriousness, that should have been something that's done a long time ago. And we should totally have like bans, and this should just be an overall better system. But you know what they're doing. For those of you that don't know, we're gonna have Pokemon Go Tour in Las Vegas. I have family in Las Vegas, and I'm making plans so that I can go to Sunset Park and I can hang out with my friends. Actually, all of us are like looking to go to it because like I live in Cali and I'm right next to Vegas, so I'm looking forward to Pokemon Go Tour. Except I have to coach a tournament, so then literally I coach a tournament, I fly out that night, I play Sunday, I fly back Monday night. Because I want to spend like Monday afternoon there and then fly down Monday night and then go back to work Tuesday morning. So yeah. But hopefully y'all are enjoying the season, but definitely I've been enjoying Scarlet and Violet way more than Pokemon Go PvP at this point. While I try to make Legend, I'm not gonna lie, I like my 2 hours, so we'll see what happens, but other than that, I will still be making content for PvP, and yeah. But I hope y'all are enjoying Season 13 because the changes are very minor, the moveset changes are still very underwhelming, and they made a whole lot of mistakes when they released that article. It was hilarious. But regardless of that, I hope y'all are enjoying your battles. Good luck on your Go Battle, and I will see y'all on the next video.